Are you stuck in your Facebook ad creation, or do you have Facebook ads that aren't necessarily getting results? This may be the video for you, because today I'm doing an audit on some solar ads that was sent in by a community member from our school group. If you want to join that school group and get your ads audited, the link is in the description. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy. Everyone calls me Uncle Jimmy, and I've been running my marketing agency for over 8 years now. It's called My Online Guy. Feel free to go and check that out. And I've literally helped hundreds of SMA owners take control of their service delivery and get massive results for their clients. So let's get straight into this ad right now. Okay, so the first place we're going to start is with our stats. Now, if you are running ads, you always want to determine where to start when it comes to optimizing. So this was sent in, and the gentleman who sent it in was basically going, I'm not 100% sure if these ads are performing well. To me, they don't appear to be. Can you take a look? And I thought, what a good opportunity to make a video, right? So what we have here is some key stats. Whenever you're looking at stats like this, the things you want to look at, basically, you want to look at your click-through rate, or which is here, your link click-through rate, which is here. And I don't necessarily look that much at cost per click because it's an indicative number. Sometimes, a lot of times, if you have good ads, it will be what it is. Again, CPM, I know a lot of people talk about that, but I made a video specifically on why CPM is probably an indicator that you don't want to look at, especially when we're trying to determine if these ads are working well. We want to look at our frequency and our reach, impressions, and the most important one, the results we're getting, right? So let me clear a bit of this off and we'll talk a little bit about what we are trying to determine here. So the first thing I like to do when I look at some statistics is I go, what's our click-through rate? Our click-through rate is 1.14%. And I'll always aim to have this anywhere between 1 to 2%. 2% ideally, and the 1% is fine. So it's 1.14. So I use this concept when I'm trying to determine whether to enter Facebook ads and what to focus on first, of this like two crocodiles methodology, right? I try and keep what I do very simple. So if you were sitting in a canoe and you had one paddle and you were paddling up the river and there was two crocodiles coming towards you, if one of those crocodiles had a big click-through rate, hat on its head, and one of them had a conversion rate, this number here, and the amount of clicks we get, and that was like conversion rate, and I'll show you how to work that out in a sec. If you had two crocodiles and they had those two numbers, basically link click-through rate and conversion rate, and they were coming towards you, at any one time, one of those crocodiles is going to be closer than the other. Okay, we can understand that concept. And you only have one paddle, so you can only hit one on the head at any one time. You're going to hit the one that's closest to you, and you're going to focus on the one that's closest to you because it's more of a threat. And ads works very similar. You should always focus on either click-through rate or conversion rate, and one or the other, and not both at the same time. So if we think about that from this perspective, if our link click rate is 1%, that's probably within KPI. I wouldn't be too concerned about that just at the minute. So we're going to give that a tick. So what's the other thing we need to focus on is conversion rate. So we have our link click rate and our results. Okay, so the way we're going to work out our conversion rate is we're going to go 2 divided by 80 times 100. Okay, and that will give us, let me just get my calculator out. That will give us 2.5%. So what's worse? Is it 1.14% worse or 2.5% as a conversion rate? 2.5%. It's a crocodile. It's way closer to the boat. So that's what we're going to focus. In this audit, though, I'm going to show you some changes you could do to both. But if you're watching this and you are wondering which one to tackle first, you would always tackle the conversion rate first. So I'm going to show you what we do to the lead form as well. And that's where I would start. So I would start with lead form. I would do the work to that. I would see an improvement in this number, and then I would probably go back to this. Okay, I just wanted to prove that, show you that concept. The rest of the numbers on the Facebook like graph on all the metrics that you get, they are important, but only important as you get more sophisticated and you do more ads. Right now, if you focus on link clicks, link clicks, and results, you're probably going to get better results than 99% of people that do Facebook ads. Right? People tend to overcomplicate what you have to do for Facebook ads, but really, we want to keep it simple, and we want to focus on the core metrics that will actually get you the best results, keep that crocodile away from you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is actually have a look at the ads. Like I mentioned, I wouldn't focus on the ads in this case. I would do that after I got my conversion rate up. But I think from an exercise perspective and helping people on YouTube, I think we look at the ads and just gives a few ideas on who we target. Okay, so this is our ad here. So this is based on a before and after concept. And we're just going to read through it. So, ever wondered how solar panels can benefit your home? Get a free consultation to find out. We're a Limburg-based team committed to quality panels and competitive prices. For context, it's the first time I've read this, okay? So click before for a free solar consultation, click here for a free consultation. Now, clearly this has been translated from Dutch. So if it's not grammatically correct, we're not going to rain over the coals for that. And then the lead form is here. Let's focus on this ad quickly. It's a short form ad, that's fine. I prefer long form narrative ads, especially when you're doing broad targeting, because it gives Facebook more meat to latch onto to work out who to target with. If it's more, it can read more context. It can work out better targeting practices. But it really depends on your audience too. If your audience is Dutch, they may want more content because they are a little bit more matter-of-factly and need to be sold on the concept. So I like to use a framework when I create ads, and it basically goes like this. So you want to open up with a pain point. So you want to start with a pain point. Now, all humans have pain points, and that's why I like to start with pain points, because if someone reads a pain point that they have, they're probably going to engage with the ad. And then I like to basically push on the pain point. So reinforce the pain point. And then what I like to do is lead in with a painkiller solution after that. So pain point, push on the pain point, painkiller solution. Then I like to talk about some of the benefits of our solution. Then I move on to a reinforcement of that initial pain point solution matrix, then a call to action with a limited time offer. That's how I like to do my ads. I've done videos on that, and you can look at them up here. But I've done an hour-long video on how to write copy if you want to learn a little bit more about my framework. But we're going to use that. So we're gonna talk through some of the things I don't like about this ad and what could be potentially be improved. Okay. So this here, ever wondered how solar panels can benefit your home? You're asking a question, which is good, but it's a very polarizing question, because if someone hasn't wondered how it can benefit their home, they're not going to continue reading, right? Ever wondered how solar panels can benefit your home? The thing with solar panels is that people know what they ask. I don't know if this is the best opening for someone who wants to buy a solar panel, because it's not universal enough. It's going to polarize your audience too much. And there's going to be people that are like, yeah, I do actually wonder what the benefits are. And then the whole bunch of people that don't want to know the benefits or don't care about the benefits, they're going to go, they're going to leave, right? So we're going to lose a lot of audience. Now, so let's say, for instance, we do decide to use this. Having this here is basically just killing off the rest of the audience. So there's a whole bunch of audience here that will read this and then go get a consultation, find out and go, wow, I've been clickbaited, the old bait and switch. So that's why I don't like it. Okay, so if we were going to use this like short form, what I would have is something like, ever wondered, I would have something a little bit more, let's say we're going to use this. I would personally use a pain point. So I'd be like, are you sick of power bills eating into your home's budget? Or are you worried about the incoming energy bill increases, like electricity? Are you worried about your next energy bill? Are you worried about your next electricity bill or something like that? The other thing I would add here is you got like Limburg here. I would be like, Limburg here. I would be like, hey, Limburg homeowners, or hey, Limburg house owners, or hey, Limburg residents. Are you worried about your next energy bill? Something like that, okay? The reason for that is, as opposed to this, which is super binary, it's going to split the audience. Everyone's worried about their energy bills, right? We know it's a universal pain point. So anyone with a home, which we're calling out, so the call out at the very start, anyone with a home we're calling out is going to then be like, worried about energy bills. I am going to entertain reading this. But you've got to remember that people that read this ad, their choices are to engage with this ad or continue scrolling on Facebook. So if you're not giving them a big enough dopamine hit, or you're giving them some kind of satisfaction or resolution to a pain point, or giving them a reason to read this, then they're not going to, because they can scroll Facebook and see pictures of cats. And who doesn't want to look at pictures of cats? So we want to make sure we do that. And then we want to reinforce that pain point quickly. So we want to get rid of this, get a consultation and find out, because it's not doing anything. It's not going to get people going, oh, I'm going to get a consultation because I want to learn about the benefits. People just won't do that. So I'd be like, with the rising cost of energy bills in Limburg, now is a better time to explore alternative options. Something like that. Just reinforcing. You're reinforcing that the energy bills are going to go up. And then I would be like, solution is, we've helped hundreds of Limburg homeowners significantly reduce their energy costs by fitting quality panels at competitive prices with our local Limburg-based team. Something like that. It's the same thing you got here, but something similar. Then what we're going to do is add 4 benefits, right? So benefits with the little green ticks, I have to do them in red because of the thing I'm using here, but you would have benefit 1. So locally owned, 5-star reviews, fully insured, good looking guys. So full benefits of why they would use you over others. Then I would just lead in after that with stay on top of energy bills this summer. Get in touch with us today for a free consultation to see if you qualify or something like that, or to find out how much you will save this summer, something like that. And then I would go for a limited time offer. This offer is for a limited time only. If you don't really have an offer, a free consultation is not an offer, so you wouldn't worry about the last bit. But that's what you would have, right? I think that would be a pretty good framework. You can make that as long or as short as you want. That's the thing. You can make that same framework really short. That's going to be like 5 sentences, maybe, but they're going to be really short sentences. Or you can go into a lot of depth. Example, going into a lot of depth would be, are you worried about the rising high Lindbergh homeowners? Are you worried about the rising energy bills this winter or this summer? With the rising cost of living, the last thing you need is rising energy bills as well, burning a hole in your pocket. That's how you make that same framework larger, longer, or shorter. You just tighten it up or you elaborate. I found the more you elaborate on things, the better chance you have of capturing someone in that cloud of audience that may like it and capturing them to read the rest. But I wouldn't make those changes just yet. I would be like keeping them in my back pocket. So I would be like taking notes of that, what I said there, putting it away somewhere, and I would be focusing on this lead form, right? What people don't understand when it comes to lead forms is that we got a 2% conversion rate, and there's a pretty simple reason why. This does nothing to help someone continue on in their journey, right? So what we've done here is we've put all this effort and energy hypothetically into our ad. This is what most people do, is they spend 90% of their energy here, and then they spend 1% of their energy on their lead form because they're exhausted. By the time they write this, they're exhausted and they get to here and like, oh man, I have to write more. When you think about it, this is where the rubber meets the road. What you're effectively doing here by having this, and we'll read it in a second, is you can turn your ad into a Ferrari, and then you just don't have any tires on it. It's running on steel ribs. It can be 1,000 horsepower car, but if you can't get that horsepower to the road, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's the same as here. Is like we put all this effort to get people to click our ad, but then they go here and it doesn't do anything to help move the audience forward. That's what the lead form needs to do, is keep propelling the potential audience forward. So let's have a quick read of this. Request your free solo consultation. Have you ever wondered how solo to improve your expertise can help you with a free solo consultation? It's like, it doesn't do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the headline. So the headline, which is like the bolded bit on your lead form, we're going to make that line up. So it might be to the benefit. So it might be like, you're one step closer to you're one step closer to finally reducing your energy bills forever. Something like that, right? I like that because it's got like a closure to it. And you want to make sure you have like, you're one step closer, you're one step nearer, you're this close. You want to make sure that you have some kind of like finish line mentality to a lead form, so that when someone is going through it, they know they don't have much left to do. They literally just have to do this little bit at the end, and then they can go back to watching cats on Facebook, right? So one step closer, you're one step nearer, you're this close, or you're on the final stages. You need to make sure you encourage them, because you've gotten them to click. That's exhausting when it comes to an audience on Facebook. Getting them to click is like hard work. And then you're asking them to do more work when they can literally just be moving their finger and getting dopamine hits all the time. You got to look at it from the consumer point of view, right? Then we're just going to make sure that this copy aligns with this, right? So we talked about the solution benefits. It might be something like, with energy bills only going up and not down, now is a perfect time to invest in your home and reducing its energy costs. Our friendly local team will walk you through how you can save thousands and thousands of dollars on your energy bills over a lifetime. Fill in the quick form below, and one of our expert consultants will discuss your options with you. Something like that. That's all it has to do. But the key thing is that it has to cliff note what's in this ad. So if you say something in your ad, you've got to concisely cliff note it so they can remember why they clicked it in the first place. You're battling people that will click the ad, and then their attention span's so short that they have no idea why they clicked it, right? So you need to reiterate this so that they know why they clicked it, basically. And then you got here questions. I like the fact that you've got questions. How long have you been thinking about buying solar panels? Less than a week. You need to have a fourth option here, something like still deciding or unsure. just so if they don't, because what happens if you don't have that option and they don't fit one of these three, they'll just leave. So I think this is too aggressive question. I would just have a question like, do you own your own home, or do you own your own home in Lindbergh? Something that qualifies them but doesn't negate them if they don't fit the bill. So I would actually switch this question out to something a little bit less aggressive, because you don't, like, if they're thinking of buying a solar panel, it doesn't actually help you at all. It helps you because you don't have to qualify them as much when you're on the call, but it doesn't help them. So stick to something that will actually help you qualify them better, because if you see someone that doesn't own a home in Lindbergh, they're not a fit, right? So just go stick to, are you a homeowner in Lindbergh? Yes, no, or will be soon, or something like that. Add that third option. And then the details you're asking, yes, no, yes. Don't ask for their street number, not on a random lead form. Like, anyone's going to do that. That's a lot to ask someone. And you may get the people do that. Don't get me wrong. There will be people that fill it out, but the majority of people you deal with won't fill that out. And it's not something you need to ask when you're first dealing with someone. It'd be like going on a date and asking a woman after having dinner, oh, what's your bra size? It's important information to know, but it's pretty intrusive, right? We need to like ease into this. Like, you're going to get them on an appointment. You can ask them that question when you're on an appointment after you've spoken to them, after you wined and dined them, so to speak. You don't need to go straight into this and put them off, okay? So don't worry about street number. That's what your calls are for. That's what your qualification follow-up process is for after getting them to fill in the lead. Your job is to make sure that this doesn't scare them off. If it scares them off, they're going to be like this. If it does the job of getting the leads, you're going to be like this, okay? So we need to make sure we don't scare them off with what we're doing. All right, so we got a second ad here. Same framework, right? I was looking at this ad just then. Use the same framework we were just talking about then, right? So you can say what you're saying here. Mine's the same with what I was saying in the first ad. Stick to one of these. Don't try two different frameworks at the same time when you don't have one that works, right? You're throwing stuff at the wall and you're hoping it works. But like, the same issues are here, right? Attention Lindbergh, that's fine. Ready to save on your energy bills. Find out how much you can save with a free consultation. You're giving them no incentive to do that. You need to like talk through it. But yeah, this is good. You can have all those. But I would just add, ready to cut your energy bills. The cost of living increasing, rising energy bills are going to become a big cost in the next couple of years, something like that. And then the free consultation. Same with your lead form. It's the same principle. 90% here at the moment, 5% here, where we need to make that like 50-50 of your energy, okay? Besides that, pretty good. I think if you just make those tweaks, we should see an increase in performance. And what we're looking for is an uplift in that ad and the lead form of a couple of percent. It might go from 2.5% to 6%, right? Then we may stop at 6% and start to tweak our ad, and then back and forth. Now, let's have a look at a couple of these copies you got here. So this is our copy. I don't know what vor and na is. I assume it's before and after, maybe. But I don't like this copy, and I'm going to tell you why. Is this the outcome? No, that's the feature of the outcome, right? The feature of the outcome is the fact that they have panels on their roof. Now, some people might think they're ugly. You scare them off, right? Who gives a crap about this? What does that matter? That's just, to most people, that's just a roof with some dude's ass hanging out, right? What we need to talk to is the outcome, which is saving money or peace of mind or reducing energy bills or whatever. So you might have this picture of a house, and then you might go like this, and then you might have a picture with no house with like a bank balance and something like that. And it might be $0, and this might be like thousands. I don't know if you wanted to use this concept. But like, showing a picture of a panel won't get someone to engage. So this one, I think, is just a dead design. You would really have to work hard to make this work. But if I was going to try and make this work, I would have this there's not even any real way to make this work. No one cares about the solar panel, but you do have another one here. So let's have a look at this. I don't know what that says. I think it's saving money, right? Something about saving money. I quite like this because it's interesting. You got your dude here that kind of draws your eye a little bit. This is green, by the way. So like, that's why you can't really read it. You've got pictures of panels again. No one cares. All it does is give context to the fact that you're selling panels. And if someone has a preconceived idea about panels and they do it, you're almost far better off using this picture like zoomed in. So like having this picture like that in the ad, and then having a family here So I would use a different house, but like having the panels there, having a family here smiling is a way better use. And then you can have this save on your bills today, something like that. I would just do that. I think this before and after is not necessarily working that well, but if you were to do that, I think you could potentially have a better outcome here. Again, with this, you can try and use this. I just don't think it works. It doesn't speak to an outcome. It's, yeah, there's a panel and it doesn't, if you were going to use this, needs to be way bigger and way bolder and way brighter to draw attention. Like, so that the solar panels are just a secondary thing. I'd almost have it like here and go save 1,500 on your next, I'll save on your next, save dollars on your next energy bill, and just have it so it's like a little bit of opacity on the, like the border use of it, so you can see it behind it, but just make it front and center of bold. That could potentially work. But yeah, I think, yeah, there's a lot of potential here. Like I said, I would focus on the lead form first. All this stuff that I'm talking about with the creative and the lead form, I would do after the fact. The creative is an interesting one because it's like, it's a little bit off framework. What I would do is look at other solar ads and see what they're doing. But yeah, you don't want to use the solar panels as the reason someone clicks, because again, it's very polarizing. Whereas someone holding a bunch of cash and they're happy is not polarizing. It's like an outcome. It's what people want. Or someone holding an energy bill and be like, oh, is what people don't want. So it's speaking to inverse, but it will get people to engage with the ad. Whatever you do, make sure it's bold and it has stopping power. So if you do this, it stops people. That's the problem with this one, is like, it doesn't really do anything to stop people. But yeah, I think if you were to make those changes, I think you'd have reasonably good outcomes here. So hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully it's been helpful to you. You've been watching this. And if you want me to audit your ads, make sure to join our free school group. It's a service delivery group and a scaling group, and that's it. There's no sales talk in there. Just guys who are running agencies with a couple of clients that are trying to get better at what they do. So if you want me to do an audit, I can't do every single one, unfortunately, but I am in there answering pretty much every question that pops up. Make sure to join that. It's in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, because I've got lots of content about how to get you better at service delivery so you can make more money. I don't care what people say. Yes, sales is important, but once you know how to sell, that's the easy part. Learning how to deliver a service so you don't lose clients is a lot harder. And I'm here to help with that. I'm Jimmy, and I'll catch you in the next video.